4 months ago, I made a video discussing the concerns I had with the King of Fighters 15. It seems like almost yesterday, and in just 4 short months, what a long way we've come. We've gotten a number of gameplay trailers, screenshots, system mechanic information, character stories. They really did start cranking it up to 11. And now we just concluded the open beta test. And after playing it for I want to say 15 hours this weekend, I have to say I was completely blown away. So, obviously, first thing I have to talk about here is the elephant in the room, the rollback netcode. Is the online any good? And I am relieved to say, yes, the online is good. I was watching some streams here and there where it was a little bit spotty, and it did have its issues. Like a bug I kept running into was sometimes the sound effects would just turn off during rollback, or just in general. Very strange, but overall, if you have a wired connection, it felt pretty good. And considering the last netcode SNK gave us was Samurai Showdown 2019, I can attribute this netcode to nothing short of a miracle. The online does have a serious glaring flaw though. The lobbies themselves only have one setup on them. In the King of Fighters 14, a lobby could have up to 6 setups. So to go from 6 just down to 1 is really disappointing, and I hope that the full game has bigger lobbies. Netcode aside though, how's the game? The UI is actually pretty nice. I saw a lot of people complaining about it when we got those first gameplay screenshots, but in action, I really like it, especially how big and chunky the health bars are, and how more pronounced the health bar ticks are. If you didn't know, the ticks corresponds to an increment of damage, and once you get past that, I could get into it, but it's just a nice visual indicator to just see at a glance how much health a character has left. I also like the way they handled the meters in this game. I like that there's also a tick for half meter, so you can see when you have EX move available. And the max mode okay message I thought was redundant actually came in handy more times than not. The only thing I don't like about the UI is that the punish indicator for when you punish someone's action for doing something is on the bottom of the screen, when I feel like it should be on the side, maybe upper side under the guard meter, just so it's easier to tell when you do it. As for the system changes, there's quite a few. Throws now hard knockdown regardless, which makes them so much stronger and makes throw mashing a much more viable tactic. Not something I like, but we'll see how that plays out. The new max mode completely fixes the problems that I had in KOF 14. A big problem with KOF 14 was that max mode was so easy to get into, and it was so cheap, and you did so much damage with it that there really was no reason to just not always fish for a max mode activate combo. So now, because they cost 2 meters to do, it is a lot. You're not going to be max mode canceling as much, and because of the increased cost, you have to really think, well, do I want to waste 2 bars here and see if I can maximize my damage, maybe get the kill, or do I save my meter so I could use it for a super or maybe some more EX moves, which I'll get to in a minute here. A cool thing I like about the new max mode system is that it'll give you a free level 1 super regardless of what you do. So if you do quick max, you get a free level 1. If you do raw max mode, you get a free level 1. Well, if you do raw max mode, you get multiple free level 1s, and it's really great. I really like that. And it just gives utility to level 1 supers, which was something that I felt was sorely missing in KOF 14, because why would you ever do a level 1 super when you could just do max mode activate for arguably better damage? Moving on, EX moves are back, and despite them being mostly the same, maybe a little bit of balance changes to make them weaker so they're not as crazy, they feel really good to use, and they added a lot more depth than I expected. I really never got to play a KOF with EX moves on release, so to just have them and them be like a constant threat or tool during the match really adds a lot more to the characters of KOF 15 than it did to KOF 14, which, if you didn't know, you could only use EX moves during max mode, and because you were only doing max mode to do max mode combos, you were only doing EX moves in max mode combos. You were never using them in neutral, so this, again, just fixes another glaring problem with 14's system. The only completely new mechanic we have here is the Shatter Strike. The Shatter Strike is basically, it's an armor move, but instead of having armor, it has guard point on it. It doesn't start right away, and it can be used in combos. You can combo into it for even bigger combo extensions. So it has offensive and defensive capabilities, and it just adds another layer to the KOF game. You know, Shatter Strike is something that I really like. It doesn't seem absurdly overpowered right now. If it was frame 1 guard point activate, I think then that would be absurd, but they definitely balanced it, and I like it. I hope in the future we see more additions to gameplay like this. Maybe not in KOF 15, but mechanics like this are good, and I think it's a good trend for fighting games to add, like, small little things like this to spice things up, you know? The last system change I want to talk about is Climax Supers now use blowback, and they all have a universal input. It's quarter circle back, quarter circle forward, C plus D. It just adds more use to the CD button. So now not only does the CD button do blowback, but it does Shatter Strike and your Climax Super. I like that they're expanding blowback attacks, because I feel like out of everything in KOF, that was definitely the thing I think needed expanding the most, and they're doing a good job with it. But enough about the system mechanics. What about the most important part of any KOF game? The characters. So for the first time since 2003, the Sacred Treasures are back. Kyo and Iori play mostly the same, but benefit greatly from having their EX moves available outside of max mode. Kyo now has a command grab that he can use freely, and Iori has an OTG he can now use freely. It just makes both characters a lot more fun to play, and honestly, they just play like they always do. They feel a little bit faster, but I think that's because of KOF 15 in general. They both also have new Climax Supers, and they are just fantastic. Out of the two of them, I can't really pick which one I like better, since I'm a massive Kyo and Iori fanboy. It's really hard. I think I'm gonna have to go with Kyo, because I always liked Kyo first. I like that the Orochimaru symbol is behind him, and he makes the giant flame tornado. It's just really cool. But Iori is really, really close on there. The third and final member of the Sacred Treasures team, Chizuru, has transitioned to a modern KOF game flawlessly. She's just as you remember her in KOF 98, but just modern, and her EX moves are really fun to use. She still has all her cloning stuff. She can still seal you with that one super. She can still make you block for 9 years with the other super. Just fantastic transition from old to new. I really enjoyed what they did with her. Personally, I don't play Chizuru, but I know a lot of Chizuru fans are going to be happy, and it's great that she finally was able to return. Speaking of great to finally return, the other full team we had in the open beta was CYS. Chris, Yashihiro, and Shermie, the new faces team, or I guess they're not so new anymore. Again, they did such a good job transitioning these old characters into a modern fighting game. Chris is as agile and annoying as ever. Shermie is your classic grappler archetype, and Yashihiro, out of all of them, I have to say, he was the most fun to play. He's still got his breakdance kick, he's punching everything, the EX system benefits him greatly, especially that armored EX DP. Absolutely insane. He is a blast to play, and I can't wait to play him more when the full game comes out. I do have to say, though, Shermie felt a little bit underwhelming as a grappler. I'm a big Vice player, and I'll admit, I'm very sad that Vice isn't going to be in this game, and I don't really expect her as DLC. Vice is my main character in KOF, and to not have her stings a little bit, but, you know, I'm used to it. She's usually not in every KOF game, but Man, I would be lying if I didn't want to play her in this one, because I think she'd be a lot of fun, especially since she'd be able to use EX Sleeve whenever she wants again, like in 13. Ah, it's such a shame, but, I understand. It's just, Shermie's not really filling that void in my heart, It's just Vice or bust. So I don't think I can play Shermie, because whenever I play Shermie, I'll just be thinking, man, I really wish I was playing Vice. But that's me. Let's move on to the last two characters. We have the good old main protagonist, Shunei. And yeah, he's about what you would expect. Not many changes with him that were meaningful, although there was a significant amount of nerfs to his kit, just so he wasn't as strong as he was in 14, which is fine because he is one of the best characters in 14, and I could understand why they don't want him to be that good. The final character we have here is Dolores, a completely new character on the rival team, and again, really interesting character. If I had to classify Dolores, she's the type of character you play if you just want to annoy the shit out of the other guy. She can poke you in the front with a rock pillar. She could poke you from behind with a rock pillar. If you try to jump at her, she puts you in the rock coffin. If you try to get close to her, she puts you in the rock hole. It's just... she just has so many options to deal with your approach, and her normals are pretty cool too. In fact, I would say I enjoyed using her normals more than I enjoyed using her special moves. She's not really a character for me, but a really cool creative character, and I would say, this is going to be a little bit controversial, better than most of the KOF 14 newcomers who aren't coming back in this game. Overall, I was very happy with the characters here. This is probably some of the most fun I've had with KOF in a long time. And, as I was playing with my friend, I just kept saying, oh man, I wonder how Terry is going to play in this. Or, I wonder if Yuri can do this. Or, oh man, I can't wait to play Ash in this game. He's going to be so cool. I just want to play more characters. And I think that's a sign that they've really done something right with this game. Overall, I had a fantastic experience with the KOF Open Beta, and it just feels good for once just to be able to have all of my concerns quelled. I don't have to worry anymore. The netcode is good. The characters feel great to play. Nothing feels overpowered. It's just a good game, and it feels like such a long time since I've had a fighting game that checked every box that I wanted. KOF 14 is one of my favorite fighting games of all time, and it is the reason why this YouTube channel exists. I've always wanted to make YouTube videos, but KOF 14 is what forced me to start uploading. Ever since I made that Yamazaki trailer breakdown video, it's been a journey that's continuing to this very day. And to take one of my favorite fighting games of all time and just improve upon it so much, I can easily see myself playing this as much as I used to play 98 and 2002 back in the day. And if they pull it off and they play their cards right, this is going to be a little bit hyperbolic, but you know what? I can see this being one of the best KOF games of all time. I know that's very controversial, but hey, I love 14, and this just looks like 14-2, but better edition, so I'm just so excited for this game. I cannot wait for February. It cannot come soon enough. But that was my experience with the KOF beta. What did you guys think of the KOF beta? I'm really interested to hear what you guys might think. I feel like most of the people who watch my video are KOF people. Because I just make a lot of KOF videos. Maybe I'm wrong. But did you guys not like anything about the beta? I would be very interested to hear that. Is there something you didn't like about the beta? Anyway, to avoid rambling for even longer, I'm going to cut it off here. Have a great day, and goodbye.
Thank you!